alone. I want to leave him alone.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. Before we knew what was what. Let's go to Rich and Milpitas real quick before we get to Dumas. We'll get these calls in here real quick. They've been waiting on hold for a while. Rich and Milpitas, what's up, baby?
Well, I actually wanted to talk to you personally, but the main key to the thing is having Draymond with young legs. I know how to fix this. I know how to fix the whole team because of my background of I used to be a coach and an athlete.
Okay.
So, I'd like to get a hold of somebody up in charge and give them an answer. They're not quite going to believe it, but they're going to understand the answer.
Oh, you want somebody up top from the Golden State Warriors?
Yeah.
To get you on the payroll. So wait, hold on. Let me get this straight, Rich. You want to get in touch with somebody from the Warriors so you can help fix Draymond's legs or getting some young legs or whatnot. You have the recipe to make them younger.
Andy wants to talk to you personally, so give him your number.
Yeah, it's so personally. Rich, am I following along correctly?
Yes, but I'll also give you something. I'll show you how to be a lot better basketball shooter and player.
Well, I'm not. I'm 41. I'm not in the NBA.
Tom Amaski?
Can you help me become a better sports talk radio host?
You like to be able to shoot the ball really well.
Well, yeah, sure. When I was 20 years younger.
Well, I understand that, but I can still give you those things.
So how can you give me those things? What makes you so credible in these things?
I have a method of training you with in a short time to be a better shooter and all around seeing things too.
I'm Fred McGriff, and I approve this call.
So you can help Draymond Green shoot that three at an unbelievable clip, huh?
Absolutely incredible.
Wait, is he there? Are you there?
Hey, he's gone. He's just telling me.
I was having fun. Did you?
The boy doesn't know the zone until shoots you, Monte.
I was trying to figure out.
I wanted to get to the end of that.
Yeah.
Did we cut him off?
Yeah, no, he just hung up.
He's about to tell me how to shoot, bro.
Yeah, he told me he's going to teach me how to shoot.
No, I'm serious. I can't shoot. I remember the YMCA over here. They had a big basketball court. They have glass backboards. I want to know how to shoot.
Hey, man, let's get Dumas on, man. Jason Dumas, Crowd for Sports director over there.
That's why we cut him off.
Part-time. Let's hear 95.7. Hey, Jay, were you just on the line for that call?
I think that was Jason.
Yeah, I heard. Was that Rich? Was that the Rich the Warriors blogger?
No, I don't know. Hey, man, he said he can teach me how to shoot. Dumas, I don't need to shoot. I'm not in the league. I'm washed.
Oh man, nah. I heard that. That was an interesting call. I think it went blank. I think that was good for everyone.
Yeah, man. Man, it was good for everyone. Man, Dumas, man, you're doing a hell of a job covering the Santa Cruz Warriors as well as everything in the Bay Area when it comes to college, pro, whatever. It doesn't matter. High school. Jason Dumas has tapped in on all those things here. But the Warriors, man, they've been hot 10-12, and no, we're looking forward to that matchup yesterday. A litmus test for the Golden State Warriors playing the champs. They have beaten them in 6 straight tries, and then they come out on fire. They're up 16, and then Joker and the Nuggets just slowly took over and over. And so Draymond Green said over the weekend, hey, I still believe we're legit title contenders. Can we take the Warriors seriously, Dumas, as legit title contenders, considering the fact that they're only 2 games over 500?
As it stands on, what is it, February 27th,
yep.
I think? As it stands on February 27th, no. The Warriors can't beat good teams. That's not an opinion. That's just what their record says. I believe right now they're 3-16 against teams with a win pace over 50 games. It's just not good. And those are the teams that you will have to beat if you want to be a championship team, obviously. Draymond knows that as well as everybody. Now, it was easy for him to say that over the weekend. They had been playing well. They had won like 8 of 10. Ever since he came back, they were playing much better, but they haven't been able to beat the good teams this year, and the good teams have actually been able to beat them comfortably. They'll have an opportunity to kind of change that narrative on this 4-game road trip with games at the Garden and at both Gardens, Madison Square and Boston Garden. So maybe they can pick up 2 wins against 2 quality teams, because both of those teams are also on pace to win over 50 games. But right now, they're a team that, they're all right, and they have name recognition and star power. So, people are always going to kind of give them a fighter's chance, and they've earned that right, when you win 4 championships in a decade. But the reality is they haven't beat good teams this year.
Jason, Steph Curry's had trouble against the Nuggets historically. He 1 for 10 from three-point land last night. Steve Kerr said he looked gassed. Talk about the All-Star weekend, back-to-backs, a day off, and then a Sunday day game. You were there last night. What did you see from Steph? Did he look tired to you?
No, I wouldn't say he looked tired. He just looked like a guy who the Nuggets knew was really the only person who could beat them, so they just made sure he didn't. And the Nuggets have a lot of length. They have a lot of smart defenders, smart team defenders. Like, one-on-one, Michael Porter Jr. is not a good defender, but last night he was hedging screens. He was playing help defense really well. Contavious Caldwell-Pope, he guards Steph as well as anyone can guard Steph. And then, like Steph said last night, which I think he was right, is a make-or-miss league, and he missed a bunch of shots that, he was comfortable taking. So, it was a combination of both him not hitting shots and just the Nuggets having the personnel to make his life hell, especially when other guys aren't stepping up.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, to your point about the length and athleticism the Denver Nuggets possess, I mean, Stephen Curry in 4 games this year against Denver, he shot 31% from 3, 37.5% from the floor. And Contavious Caldwell-Pope has always been a good defender when it comes to Stephen Curry. Makes him work, makes life difficult for him. And then you add in Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray at times, and they defend Stephen Curry as well as anybody. So I just thought the balance got out of whack. The balance, like, you get Wiggins off to a hot start, you get Klay off to a hot start, they don't shoot much in the second half. That's a credit to Denver and the attention to the game plan there, but they do have players who can slow down Stephen Curry. And you know what, Jason? The rest of the West has that too. Minnesota has guys like that. The Clippers have guys like that. So who can step up and be that consistent number 2 option for this basketball team? If you don't have that, Jason, it could be a short run in the playoffs if the Warriors get to that playoff spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about it to that championship year, B. It was Andrew Wiggins.
Yep.
And then it was like kind of a hybrid role of Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson. Like, it was either one of those two who were usually stepping up, but Wiggins was pretty consistently like their second best player that entire season. And fast forward 2 years, do you trust Wiggins to do that? I mean, he hasn't showed that he could be back at that level for a sustained period. I mean, for portions of this year, it didn't even look like he was a starter. And now you have Klay, who's obviously hot and cold. Like, Klay is just, he doesn't have the consistency that he's had in the past. Like, he was great in the first half, and then he got bottled up in the second half. And do you trust Jonathan Kuminga to be an essential piece on a championship team? If you're betting money, I think I know what your answer would be.
Right.
So, so that's just the reality of the situation. I think if the Warriors want to be a title contender, like Draymond said, like, guys are going to have to be playing like lights out and all the way to the top of their potential. And that is Kuminga and Wiggins for one, and then it's Klay. He is going to have to go on a heater, which he is highly capable of, but he's also capable of going the other way for a 3-week, 4 weeks. And that's just, it's hard to bet on something like that. Steph is going to be there. Draymond's going to be there and bring what he needs to bring to the table. Although yesterday was probably one of the worst I've seen Draymond play in a while.
Yeah.
I think Jokic overwhelmed him. That first quarter, it was great. Even Jokic had a couple buckets in the first quarter, but they were tough buckets. And I was like, you know what? Like, you'll take that. But then I think the way Jokic started guarding Draymond Green, he started just playing Draymond pass. And Draymond basically became obsolete. He ended up with more turnovers than assists. He went back to like the Draymond who is just like overthinking everything on offense. And I actually think that affected him defensively too. He just started to think too much. And he also, when you're guarding Jokic, you can't help. And part of Draymond's genius is his help defense. And that got eliminated yesterday because he has to guard Jokic one-on-one. And Warriors are never going to win when Draymond Green isn't playing well. It's just, other things can happen to maybe help that. But, like, this version of the Warriors this year, if Draymond's not playing well, yeah, pack it up.
Jason, I want to get your opinion on Steve Kerr. We've been talking about it a lot on the show so far today. He signed the 2-year deal for $35 million, $17.5 per year. A lot of criticism for Steve. I know coaches aren't above criticism, but I want to get your thoughts on the contract he signed and how he's coaching this year.
I don't think it's his best coaching year, but with that being said, when you look at the totality of what he's done for this team, I think his contract well deserved. I mean, if you go in a different direction, where do you go? Really? And I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I hate that. Like, I've gotten in debates when I told people that I think Kyle Shanahan got his extension way too early, and people are like, "Well, not Kyle Shanahan, then who?" And I'm like, "Well, first of all, he had a couple years left, so you didn't have to give it to him now." I wasn't saying fire him, but like, Kyle Shanahan isn't the only talented football coach in the world. Like, same thing with basketball. Like, if you could probably find another guy to coach Steph Curry, and you would probably have some success. I mean, there's probably a bigger window of error of elimination with a guy like Steph Curry. But, Steve and Steph, they're comfortable with each other. And, really, as long as Steph wants you around, you're going to be around. That's probably why Draymond is still here, because Draymond has had a lot of issues over the past couple of years that we don't even have to detail at this point. We know, and he's still here. Steph Curry wants to play with Draymond still. Now, Steve Kerr obviously is not in the same boat as Draymond Green in terms of should he be here anymore? But this year there has been some growing pains. The last couple years with the Kuminga and the Wiseman and the Moody, there are definitely points where Steve Kerr and Joe Lacob were not on the same page. It's obvious Joe Lacob really liked James Wiseman. It's obvious Joe Lacob really loved Jonathan Kuminga. Steve Kerr was playing Anthony Lamb over him, and I think part of that was Steve Kerr trying to prove a point. Like, these kids aren't ready, so this is what you're but at the end of the day, when you win 4 championships, you get a lot of leeway. You build a lot of equity within an organization, and that's what Steve Kerr has. And I do still think he's a good coach. I think he's a great ego manager. He's navigated this thing with Klay Thompson really well. He soft landed that plane because there was one point where Klay Thompson, you even brought up the subject about him coming off the bench.
Right.
It was going to be a long conversation. It was going to be a tough conversation. Steve Kerr stated that he's done as best as he can with this Draymond, all the Draymond stuff this year, getting suspended twice, once indefinitely. He's probably the guy you want, like, in the foxhole with you when things get tough. But from the scheming standpoint, it's not been his best season. But just the way I see it, with his history with the organization, his relationship with the most prominent figures in the organization, he deserved that extension, and you got to roll the dice with him.
You brought up Klay Thompson there, Dumas. Before we let you go, what's your gut telling you about Klay Thompson after the season? Now, you mentioned the bench thing, and I always thought the biggest issue with this team would be who finishes in the final 5 minutes of a basketball game. And when Klay went irate in Brooklyn, he was basically about not finishing the game, right? He was saying how, man, he cursed out the assistant coaches and blah, blah, blah. And he wasn't happy about that. What happens to Klay knowing that, hey, this may be his new role moving forward with the Golden State Warriors? Now, another team may offer him a starting spot and more money. What do you think happens with Klay now that Kerr's been taken care of with this contract extension?
I think the same thing is going to eventually happen with Klay. I don't see Klay playing for anyone else. Both sides want the same thing. So usually when that happens, cooler heads prevail and somebody figures something out. Klay wants to be here. The Warriors want Klay to be here. The fact that Klay has accepted a bench role tells me that Klay might accept the reality that that number that he initially wanted is just not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think they'll both come to an agreement. I don't think this will be something like, you know, Bob Myers, where all of a sudden, like, you just snap your finger and he's gone. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Klay will figure it out with this front office, and they'll make something work. It's hard for me to envision Klay getting into headspace to play somewhere else. Like, this is like, Klay's always wanted to be here, and they've always wanted him here. They want him to retire a Warrior. You know, he's going to have a statue outside of State Center at some point. And just, now you can't never say never. We saw, like I tell people this all the time, like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning played for other franchises other than the ones where they like built their name.
Mm-hmm.
And so can. Yeah. So never say never, but I would be shocked if Klay didn't re-sign with the Warriors. I think they'll come to an agreement. I think it'll be just like Steve Kerr. It'll be a 2-year deal lined up with Steph Curry. And that's basically what Draymond is on. I know Draymond has 1 extra year as an option.
Yep.
But essentially everybody is lined up with Steph. And like it comes back full circle. Everything revolves around Steph, as it should. You know, he is the franchise. So I think it'll be a 2-year deal, and he'll stay put.
Jason, I'm saving the hardest question for last. And you answer this however you want. This is hard hitting. Who's better dressed on TV, you or Bonte? I'm looking at you. You guys are both. You guys are both sharp.
Jay got me beat. Jay got me beat.
No,
Jay, how long you been on television?
I did not ask you this question.
Comes with the heat.
No, Jay's got me beat. And I'll tell you what, Jay, how long you been on television now?
Since 2012. So what? That's 14 years.
Man, it's a lot. It's a long time. Jay has mastered the tennis shoes with the suit game. He's mastered the turtleneck. He's mastered the vest with the suit. Like, I'm impressed with Dumas. I'm not even in that stratosphere. Dumas, you got that crown, buddy. I'm giving it to you. Yeah. You better accept it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna humbly take it. But don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself short. I turn on NBC Sports Bay Area. I'm like, damn, look at Bonte today.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to catch up with you. You guys are Festus.
I'm missing.
But you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, FP. Because, you know, Dumas, I know you like the finer things in life. FP and I have been talking about Gucci's and Louis Vuittons. And I know, Dumas, you got some bouginess in you, too. Because they call me Bougie Bonte. Ain't nothing wrong with being bougie, right, Dumas?
I'm fashionable.
Nah, nothing, man. You work hard, so enjoy yourself.
There you go.
Plus, you dress for success, man. You guys are making me miss TV right now because I was like you guys.
It is fun putting on a suit. I see Dumas courtside, man. He's got lapel, dude. He's got like pins in his lapel. He's got pocket squares left and right like Carlos Ramirez. He's doing the same thing.
You get those little flower pins.
I know,
like right here, and then the pocket square.
Damn, see, you guys are making
me miss dressing up.
You're next
I'm going to get dressed up for the show tomorrow. I'm just going to wear a suit in here.
Just wear a suit.
Yeah, we're on YouTube.
Dumas got suits out of there. Dude, now, are you like me now, Dumas? Because recently I've noticed myself, I'll put out the suit the night before just to have it ready so I can get everything moving and grooving. Well, how do you go through your process of what you wear on television, Dumas?
So I'll usually look at my sneaker rack and try to figure out what sneaker I want to wear. And then I go from there. All right, I'll wear this suit. I wear this tie. So I start with the shoes. Then I go suit. And I figure it out from there. But, man, we're talking about being happy putting on suits. I was so irked putting on my suits this weekend. It was so nice out in San Francisco. And I'm putting on a suit, getting ready to drive down to Santa Cruz. All I wanted to do was sit out in the sun and crack a cold beer.
So he starts from the shoes, FP.
He goes ground up. I always start with a suit, then go shirt and tie, and then the shoes and belt late. But what you guys don't have to do is pack for a road trip with your suits for like a 7 or 10 day road trip. And then you got to figure out 10 days in a row, pack those, and you lay them all out on the bed. That's not easy.
No, that doesn't sound easy at all.
I just did that in Vegas. I couldn't imagine having to do that all season long. I did it in Vegas. I was in Vegas for 8 days, and I was on TV every single day I was out there. So I had Yeah, 2 bags.
Hey, what was that fur you had on that jacket one of those days in Vegas, Dumas? I said, damn, you figured out the fur?
That's alpaca suit supply.
see, that's what I'm talking about here. This is why Dumas is the best dressed guy in Bay Area media. I'm just not even close. We're all fighting for second. Look, you got FP smiling ear to ear. He loves this.
I'll talk clothes all day. I saw Larry Beal the other night. He had like baby blue on with a blue tie. He looked sharp too.
He did look good.
Yeah.
It's a game within a game, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Just like I got my eyes on you, Dumas. I'm trying to catch up to you, fella. But his shoe rack is too much. Man. Hey, that shoe rack is too much, though, man. So when I started television, I had like 5 pair of tennis shoes. And then our producer at NBC was like, Jonathan Sackey goes, we're going to do a lot of head-to-toe shots, so you better get your shoe game. And the shoe game nowadays, FP, the tennis shoes, it's a different ball game. Yeah. You better have a shoe connect, or you're going to be asked out of some J's. You're not going to get the shoe. Seriously, Dumas knows, right?
No, you got to have a plug now because you can't trust that sneaker app. I've never won one thing on that app.
There you go. Oh, there you go. See, we got to get Dumas in the studio with you, FP. We could get Bougie on here, man.
Hey, we've done a show or 2 together.
Yeah, you know about Jason, man.
Yeah,
there it is, man. Yeah. Jason, man, good stuff as always, man. Love having you on the roast, man. Keep up the great work out there.
All right, fellas. Take care.
Anytime. Jason Dumas here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game.